Sometimes the loudest noise you'll ever hear is your own distraction. You're busy watching everyone else, what they're doing, what they're saying, how far they've gone. And yet, the more you look outward, the more you lose your power inward. Silence is one of the most powerful weapons you can ever master. The world is loud, full of opinions, noise, distractions, and expectations that pull you in every direction. But when you learn to stay silent, not because you have nothing to say, but because you have everything to build, you move from reaction to direction. Silence is not weakness, it is strategy. It's the ability to choose your response instead of being driven by emotion. Most people think silence means you are being ignored, dismissed, or overlooked, but in truth, silence means you've outgrown the need to explain yourself to people who do not understand your purpose. You don't have to justify your decisions when they are guided by vision. When you are building something significant, you don't need to broadcast it. You just need to protect it. The more you talk about what you're doing, the more room you give for doubt, distraction, and outside interference. Silence creates a sacred space where ideas can grow without being contaminated by opinions. When you choose silence, you are not isolating yourself from people. You are insulating your focus from noise. Every word you don't speak in anger, every explanation you don't give to a critic, every argument you walk away from is an act of power. You are saving your energy for the things that matter. In silence, you gain clarity. You begin to hear your own thoughts, you begin to listen to your intuition, and you begin to connect with your purpose on a deeper level. Noise makes you react, silence makes you reflect. And reflection is where wisdom is born. Many people lose battles because they speak before they think, they act before they plan, and they respond before they understand. Silence gives you the space to process, to plan, and to prepare. The wise don't rush to be heard, they wait to be effective. The truth is, people often talk to prove something. They talk to defend themselves, to convince others, to show they're right, or to sound important. But when you are truly confident, you no longer need to prove anything. You let your peace prove it. You let your results prove it. You let your growth prove it. You understand that your purpose doesn't require approval. It just requires alignment. Silence becomes the language of maturity because you stop seeking validation from voices that don't carry your destiny. When you choose silence, you also disarm negativity. There are people who thrive on reaction. They throw shade just to see if you'll respond. But silence frustrates the insecure because they can't control what they can't provoke. You show strength by refusing to engage. Silence isn't ignoring them. It's outgrowing them. You rise above the drama when you stop feeding it with attention. Every moment you spend defending your name is a moment you could be building your future. Think of silence as a seed. When a seed is planted, it's buried in darkness, unseen, uncelebrated, unnoticed. But while it's hidden, it's growing roots, it's forming strength, and it's preparing for the moment to rise. That's what silence does for you. It gives you time to develop before you're discovered. It allows you to strengthen your character before you step into your calling. You may be quiet now, but your growth is making noise in the unseen. So when life challenges you, when people misunderstand you, when critics speak your name, don't answer everything. Don't waste energy explaining what time will reveal. Silence will protect your peace while focus will perfect your purpose. Keep your words few, but your actions strong. Speak less so your results can speak more. Remember, real power doesn't need to shout. It just shows up, stands tall, and lets the fruit of discipline do the talking. Focus is the currency of success, and where your attention goes, your energy flows. Every dream, every breakthrough, every transformation begins the moment you decide to stop scattering your attention on what everyone else is doing and start investing it in your own growth. Most people are so busy observing others that they forget to observe themselves. They study someone else's progress, someone else's timeline, someone else's validation, and they wonder why they feel stuck. You can't build your own vision while you're distracted by someone else's. Focus is the discipline of ignoring what doesn't serve your purpose. When you truly begin to focus on yourself, you stop measuring your progress by comparison. Comparison is a thief. It steals gratitude, confidence, and peace. You are not in competition with anyone else's calling. Your only competition is the version of yourself you were yesterday. Every time you look outside to measure your worth, you delay your own development. But when you focus inward, you start building from a deeper place. You start asking better questions. How can I grow? How can I improve? What can I learn? That's when your transformation begins, not when the world notices you, but when you begin to notice yourself. Focus creates transformation because it channels your power. You can't light a fire without direction. Scattered energy burns out, but focused energy burns through. When your mind, spirit, and actions align toward a single purpose, things begin to move. Distraction delays destiny, but focus accelerates it. Many people have the talent, the dream, and even the opportunity, but they lack focus. They try to do everything, and as a result, they accomplish nothing with depth. Focus gives you mastery. It sharpens your mind like a blade until you can cut through noise and confusion with clarity. To focus on yourself doesn't mean you become selfish. It means you become strategic. You learn to say no without guilt. You learn to detach from people who drain you, habits that distract you, and environments that no longer grow you. It's not about rejecting people. It's about protecting your purpose. Every time you say yes to something meaningless, you say no to something meaningful. Focus is about being ruthless with your priorities because your destiny deserves your full attention. As you grow in focus, you'll notice something powerful: peace. When your attention stops jumping between 100 directions, your soul begins to rest. You stop chasing approval, you stop reacting to noise, and you start responding with intention. You'll begin to see that success isn't always about doing more, it's about doing what matters most. The more you focus on yourself, the more aware you become of what truly moves you forward. You'll start letting go of activities that feed your ego but starve your purpose. Focus transforms not just your goals, but your mindset. It teaches patience because focus means committing to the process even when results are not instant. You begin to understand that transformation doesn't happen in a moment, it happens through momentum. Small daily actions, done with consistency and focus, build massive change over time. Every moment of focus is a deposit into your future. The compound interest of discipline will always outgrow the illusion of speed. You'll also find that focus exposes truth. When you remove distractions, you see yourself clearly, your strengths, your flaws, your habits, your potential. Some people fear focus because it forces them to confront what they've been avoiding. But facing the truth about yourself is the beginning of transformation. You can't fix what you won't face, and you can't face what you're too distracted to see. So focus until your future becomes your obsession. Focus until distractions lose their appeal. Focus until your discipline becomes your identity. Because when your attention is fully invested in your growth, the world around you starts to shift. You attract what you focus on. You build what you believe in. You become what you give your energy to. And the moment you decide that your purpose is worth your full focus, that's the moment everything in your life begins to change. You don't need anyone's permission to grow, to evolve, or to step into the next level of your life. Too often, people wait for validation from others before they take action. They want someone to approve their dream, to clap for their vision, to confirm that what they feel in their heart is real. But greatness never asks for permission. It moves with conviction, not consensus. The moment you stop waiting for someone to give you the green light is the moment you begin to accelerate toward your destiny. No one else can authorize what was already written for you. Growth is a personal decision. It's an inner agreement between who you are and who you're becoming. When you decide to evolve, not everyone will understand it. Some people will criticize you because your change confronts their comfort. They liked you better when you stayed small, when you stayed predictable, when you didn't challenge their expectations. But your purpose will never fit inside other people's opinions. You have to make peace with being misunderstood. The truth is, you were not created to be liked by everyone. You were created to be aligned with your calling. Progress doesn't need applause. It just needs alignment. When your actions align with your assignment, results will come naturally. You don't have to broadcast your growth. It will show in your habits, your discipline, and your peace. The people who once doubted you will eventually see the fruit of your focus. That's why silence is powerful. It protects your process. While everyone else is talking about what they're going to do, you're doing it. While they seek approval, you're seeking progress. The journey of growth can feel lonely at times because not everyone is meant to go where you're going. Some people will fall away, not because they're bad, but because their season in your story has ended. Don't chase validation from those who can't comprehend your vision. Their perspective is limited to their own experience. What looks impossible to them is completely natural for you because you see from faith, not fear. You don't owe explanations to anyone who hasn't invested in your evolution. Every time you wait for validation, you delay your transformation. Every time you second guess yourself because of someone else's opinion, you give away your power. But when you finally decide that your growth is your responsibility, everything changes. You begin to take bold steps to act on faith, to trust your intuition. You no longer need people to agree with your decision because you've already agreed with your destiny. Progress isn't about seeking approval. It's about taking consistent action regardless of who's watching. When you stop asking for permission, you start walking in authority. You move differently because you realize that purpose doesn't need an audience. It just needs obedience. Every major breakthrough in your life will come after you choose courage over comfort, faith over fear, action over approval. People might doubt you now, but they'll study your strategy later. The world always questions what it can't yet see, but results silence critics. Let your growth speak. Let your work testify. Let your success become your statement. The most dangerous thing you can do is to let someone else's disbelief limit your potential. You were designed to lead, to innovate, to create, not to wait for permission slips from people who stopped dreaming long ago. You owe it to yourself to become everything you were meant to be, even if no one else believes it yet. So stop explaining your purpose to small minds. Stop asking for acceptance from those who fear evolution. Stop waiting for the world to clap before you start moving. Just build, just grow, just rise. Because when you walk boldly in your calling, when your progress becomes undeniable, the same people who questioned you will have no choice but to respect what they once rejected. Your progress doesn't need permission, it just needs your persistence. Your energy is your most valuable currency, and how you spend it determines what kind of life you build. Every thought you entertain, every conversation you engage in, every emotion you invest carries a cost. The problem is most people spend their energy carelessly on people who drain them, on situations that distract them, and on arguments that lead nowhere. Protecting your energy doesn't mean isolating yourself. It means recognizing that not everything or everyone deserves access to your inner power. You cannot pour into your purpose if your energy is constantly leaking through unguarded boundaries. When you start valuing your energy, you begin to realize that peace is expensive. It costs you your comfort zone, your need to please everyone, and your habit of over-explaining yourself. Protecting your energy is not about building walls, it's about building gates and deciding who or what gets to enter. You are the guardian of your own atmosphere. You set the tone for what you tolerate and what you allow. Every person you let in either multiplies your momentum or drains your drive. Every conversation either builds your faith or feeds your fear. You must learn to discern the difference between those who pour into you and those who pull from you. Energy protection begins with self-awareness. You have to know what drains you, what distracts you, and what destroys your focus. It might be the endless scrolling, the gossip disguised as conversation, or the company of people who complain more than they create. Every minute spent in the wrong environment costs you moments of progress. Protecting your energy means making intentional choices. Choosing silence over arguments, solitude over chaos, prayer over panic. It's understanding that your spirit needs stillness to stay strong. The truth is, some people are addicted to your attention. They know that every time they provoke you, you'll respond. But when you learn to guard your energy, you take back control of your emotions. You stop explaining, you stop defending, you stop reacting. You realize that every response is an investment, and not every situation is worth your energy. Some battles are meant to be ignored, not fought. You win by walking away, not by proving your point. Your peace is worth more than your pride. There will come a time when your silence will frustrate people who used to feed on your reactions. They will call you distant or detached because your growth threatens their comfort. But don't apologize for protecting your energy. You are simply choosing peace over chaos, purpose over distraction, and elevation over drama. Every season of growth requires separation. You cannot rise while carrying the weight of everything that drains you. Protecting your energy sometimes means letting go of people you love, but it also means making room for who you're becoming. When you protect your energy, you also increase your focus. You start operating with clarity because your mind is no longer cluttered by noise. You begin to feel stronger, more centered, more productive. You notice how much more creative you become when your spirit isn't under constant attack. You stop chasing validation and start cultivating vision. Protecting your energy gives you the power to say no to good things so you can say yes to great ones. And remember, your energy doesn't just affect you. It affects what you attract. If you're always exhausted, frustrated, or emotionally drained, you'll continue to draw situations that match that frequency. But when you operate from peace, confidence, and focus, you begin to attract opportunities that align with your purpose. The universe responds to what you radiate. That's why guarding your energy is not selfish, it's sacred. So be intentional about where your energy flows. Spend it wisely. Invest it only in what multiplies your purpose, fuels your growth, and strengthens your faith. Because when your energy is protected, your focus sharpens, your creativity flourishes, and your purpose moves faster toward fulfillment. Your energy is your life force. Guard it, grow it, and let nothing or no one deplete it. Every great success story begins in silence, in a place where no one is watching and no one is clapping. Preparation always happens in private because purpose is refined in hidden seasons. Before any public victory, there is always a private process. It's in those unseen hours when character is built, faith is tested, and discipline is forged. Most people want the spotlight before they're ready for it, but the truth is, the spotlight only reveals what the shadows prepared. If you skip the quiet seasons of preparation, the weight of success will crush you instead of crown you. In private moments, you learn to build without applause. You wake up early, work late, and fight battles no one will ever know about. That's where strength is developed, not in comfort, but in commitment. You learn that real growth doesn't happen when everyone is cheering for you. It happens when no one notices you, but you keep showing up anyway. When you master consistency in silence, you are being shaped into someone who can handle greatness with grace. You're not working for validation, you're working for transformation. The private season teaches humility. When you work in silence, you stop performing for approval and start producing from purpose. You no longer crave attention, you crave progress. It's not about being seen, it's about being prepared. There is something sacred about obscurity because it strips away ego and forces you to rely on your inner strength. You begin to realize that private preparation is where your relationship with your purpose deepens. You learn discipline, patience, and endurance, and those qualities are what sustain you when success finally arrives. Every person who has achieved greatness has gone through a silent season, a time when it seemed like nothing was happening, but everything was happening beneath the surface. Like a seed buried in the ground, you are not buried to die, you are planted to grow. The soil of silence protects you while you develop roots strong enough to support the weight of your future. That's why you can't rush your season. You might feel unseen, but that doesn't mean you're forgotten. You are being prepared for something greater than what you can see right now. Preparation in private also protects you from premature exposure. Too many people rush to be seen before they are ready to be sustained. They mistake visibility for victory, but success without structure collapses. When you stay in the process long enough, your foundation becomes unshakable. You build habits, systems, and standards that hold you steady when pressure comes. The private work you do when no one is watching will always show up publicly when it matters most. Your preparation will reveal itself through your excellence. Don't be discouraged by the silence, embrace it. Every day you stay faithful to the process, you are proving that you can be trusted with more. You're showing life that you can handle responsibility before reward. You're proving to yourself that your dreams are worth the grind. It's not glamorous, it's not loud, and it's not easy, but it's necessary. Every repetition, every sacrifice, every unseen act of discipline is a deposit in your destiny account. When the time is right, the withdrawals will be visible in the form of success, influence, and impact. Your private preparation also builds gratitude, because when you've been through seasons of silence, you learn to appreciate the process as much as the promise. You no longer take opportunities for granted because you know the cost of readiness. You realize that greatness isn't about luck, it's about layers of preparation built over time. And that's why when your moment finally comes, you won't just perform, you'll embody everything you practiced in private. So stay in the process. Stay consistent when no one claps. Stay committed when no one notices. Because the unseen work you're doing today will become the undeniable evidence of your success tomorrow. Every private season is a setup for a public manifestation. Trust the quiet, respect the process, and keep preparing, because when your time comes, your results will make the noise. Results are louder than words, and the most powerful statement you will ever make is not what you say, but what you produce. Talk is cheap because words without action have no weight. People are quick to announce their plans, share their dreams, and declare what they will become, but few actually follow through. The difference between the talkers and the doers is consistency. When you focus on results, you no longer need to convince anyone of your potential. Your work proves it for you. Every time you stay disciplined, every time you show up, every time you push past excuses, you are building evidence of your excellence. Letting your results speak means trusting the process even when no one else sees it. You stop seeking recognition because you understand that your results will attract the right kind of attention at the right time. You don't need to broadcast your journey when your success will eventually make the announcement. Real builders work quietly. They understand that success doesn't come from talking about progress, but from staying committed to daily discipline. Every silent hour of work compounds into visible transformation later. People may overlook you now, but when the results manifest, they won't be able to ignore you. The reason results are so powerful is because they silence doubt. You don't need to argue with critics or respond to negativity when your progress is visible. People can question your motives, but they can't deny your fruit. They can disagree with your methods, but they can't dispute your outcome. That's why your focus should never be on proving others wrong. It should be on proving yourself right. When your actions are rooted in purpose, your success will speak on your behalf. Every breakthrough becomes a sentence in the story your results are writing. Letting your results speak requires patience because results take time. In a world obsessed with instant gratification, delayed results often feel like failure. But real growth takes consistency over convenience. You can't plant today and harvest tomorrow. You have to keep watering, keep working, and keep waiting with faith that your effort will eventually pay off. Every day of persistence is a seed, and those seeds don't lie. They will produce a harvest at the right time if you don't give up. Results are not born from bursts of motivation. They're born from the slow grind of commitment. Another reason why results speak louder than words is that they inspire others without you even trying. Your discipline becomes a model, your progress becomes proof that change is possible, and your success becomes permission for others to believe in their own potential. The people watching you may never tell you, but your consistency encourages them to keep going. That's the power of results. They carry influence beyond your voice. When you let your work shine, your impact multiplies silently. The path to results is not glamorous. It's repetitive, often lonely, and full of moments when quitting feels easier than continuing. But every time you choose to keep going, you are separating yourself from those who stop at talk. Results require sacrifice, the sacrifice of comfort, distraction, and instant praise. You have to be willing to work in the dark so that your results can shine in the light. The process may test you, but it's also preparing you to handle what you're asking for. You don't have to announce every move or justify every decision. Let your progress do the talking. Let your transformation silence the noise. Because at the end of the day, it's not the loudest person who wins. It's the most consistent one. The world doesn't reward intentions, it rewards results. So keep your focus steady, your standards high, and your words few. Keep building, keep improving, keep producing. The time will come when your results will speak so loudly that even your silence will be respected. And your discipline is the bridge between your today and your destiny. So when you walk into your next season, don't announce it, don't explain it, don't post it. Just do the work. Because the quiet builder always wins.